So I'll admit, I have passed out in a camper before, but I have never passed something out of a camper before. Quite like this. What is even happening? Like, what is going on? Welcome everybody. Josh the RV Nerd of Bish's RV down here at Forest River again today with I like this, something that I personally like. This RV is sneaky good. It is deceptively good because you walk through this thing, you experience the space, like you get really focused on like the pass-through windows, whether it's the open air window over the bed, which there are screens and there's a blackout shade, you could close that off. Same thing with that almost like food truck style, like somebody's grilling and then they just pass the steaks up to you as they're done cooking them kind of window over here. You get super fixated on that, and it has so much open floor space and like a giant pantry, big bathroom with crazy stupid storage back there as well. And then you walk out of it and you realize this thing has no slide out. This is an 8-foot wide tandem axle, lightweight, easy towing, just awesome kind of camper. This is a lot of fun right here. If you're a solo person, if you're a couple, if you like to entertain people, but you don't really like to have people stay the night. If your policy is more like a good neighbor, stay over there when it comes to evening hours, you might prefer something like this right here. The big XL vent fan in the bathroom is a fan favorite and hit by everybody. Central vacuum system, no carpet, no floor vents, easy cleaning, pet friendly, partridge in a pear tree, heated enclosed underbelly. Western editions also pick up tank heaters and a little more aggressive tire package, 200-watt factory standard solar package, Asdel below the fiberglass skin, ton of aluminum construction going on here, class 3 receiver on the back with a 300-pound rating in case Aunt Edna croaks on the Clark W. Griswold family vacation, and a bunch of other stuff. This is a sweet rig right here. This is one of those, I think you walk by it and you see that it has no slide, you're like, oh, I want something with more space. Don't walk by. Pop your head inside, see what that giganto window is all about, and I don't think you're going to be disappointed with what you see in here. I'm going to go through, open everything up. I was going to say close the slide, but again, it doesn't. It still feels like a slide-out unit to me. I'm going to show you all the ins and outs. Let me know what you think about it as we go, and let's get rocking, because there's a lot to cover in a little box right here. And I debated heavily on where and how to kind of start this RV. I'm basically over on the driver's side of the RV looking over at the campsite because I think this window coverage over here, I think is one of the biggest signature calling cards of this. And chances are, if you're looking at an RV like that, like if you're considering this camper, it's because you love the window coverage and you like the fact that it has no slides and it's tandem axle and easy towing. But there's a lot of other really good factors that go into it. But I think that those are probably some of the biggest hitter things. So let's go ahead and take a look at that. I appreciate these the stools that they include. They do strap down for transit. They actually strap in right there. But they do have a little bit of a lower back on them, so that it's not like you're just kind of sitting on a stool. Those power outlets over there to create a little opportunity for a bit of a laptop warrior station is a very nice touch. The TV also having a bit of a pivot. I've got it on the a 45 bias right now, so that whether you're like, if I sit down, I'm actually just sitting on the bed up here. If you want to be able to watch TV at night, you could actually, it folds flat against that pantry wall. So the evening viewing is ideal. It's funny, the daytime viewing of this is a little bit less ideal, but I don't know that I care, because chances are during the daytime, this is what you're doing. And if this was parked outside with like some sunshine blasting or something like that, it would look great. Obviously, we're in a sort of factory studio style environment today. Now, you might have noticed this is currently wide open air, and you're like, how do I keep the bugs from bugging me? You think that's why it's called bug? Now, are they called bugs because they bug you, or do they bug you because they're bugs? That sounds like I'm drunk. I swear I am mostly not. Now, you also have a blackout shade here too. The back side of this has a radiant backer on it also to help keep the wicked sunshine out here. Working our way around, what's awesome about this, again, the big window and the fact that it has a dining bar instead of a traditional dinette. They make the RV look and feel more open, and they occupy less floor space. So this is a no-slide camper that feels like an RV with a slide out, but eliminates the seals, the mechanicals, the weight, and the cost of a slide out. it is a really strong, smart package. Up top here, we do have a 15,000 BTU air conditioner, by the way. We don't have any overhead storage cabinet space above the bed because of the curvature of the nose. That just essentially was not in the cards. I've asked you folks, do you prefer the full-on bed demos like I'm doing today, or do you prefer just some quick footage? You said you prefer the full Burt Reynolds style display that we're putting on here today. So this is what I'm going to do. Laying down here, this is, what size is this? This feels like maybe some variety of short queen. I haven't measured it. I didn't find the tag. A lot of times what I'll do, this is kind of a handy pro tip maybe for you while you're shopping too. A lot of times if you peel up the bed spread or the slip cover or whatever, there's usually a tag. It's probably on the opposite side of this thing, but if you read through those, eventually you can find out what the actual measurements of this thing are. But it's here if you need it, it's gone if you don't. Now, right now, I've got this totally wide open to the elements, just like the serving window. If you want to close that off a number of different ways, you have a few different opportunities here. Also, one of the things that we have over here is a what I call the headboard power pocket, where there's they actually throw a shelf back there. So whether you want a phone charger, basically it's a nightstand right next to your head that does have a set of household outlets back there, in addition to the households and USBs that you'll probably find all over here. Because one of the things I found RPod to be very good about is they put power outlets just about everywhere. Now, when you are done with this thing, putting it away is pretty darn simple and easy. There you go. That's all it really took. We're doing it all in real time here, basically, ladies and gentlemen. And then you're good. Now, you do have these little sofa armrest bolster things. What I found you kind of want to do is jam them under those side stands a little bit, and then they tend to stick in place pretty well, because otherwise, if you just sort of try to slot them in here, they're always wiggling around, and they don't feel as good. Of course, if you don't want them, you just don't got to use them. Now, obviously, the whole windshield arrangement means nothing when you close the bed up like this, but it gives you the choice, potentially, of how to camp. What's cool about this, though, is this gives us a walk-around bed, a sofa, and a dining area, the dining bar in this case, in a very small, lightweight, certainly half-ton towable, potentially mid-size sort of vehicle towable kind of camping scenario. There's those outlets. I knew they had to be around somewhere. I've been in so many RVs so fast lately, I lose track of stuff. It gets to be a lot the way all of this kind of bleeds together here. Just to kind of showcase for you, if you don't necessarily want a giant hole in the wall, you can, of course, close that big window or pull the shades or any combination thereof to close that out. And when I get the chairs out of the way, look how just crazy wide open this is. Here's another thing. I didn't think about this. I think I accidentally kind of stumbled into something cool. Depending on what you do with the chairs, you can kind of create a little bit of a rainy day entertainment area in here by just setting the chairs on either side of that sofa. There's enough room that it doesn't cause any problems. And then if you're doing that, everybody actually has a straight shot at the TV. So, if we have some friends over, if you're just watching a show or something like that, you actually can kind of party hard in this thing. And this would be kind of what I was saying right there. Now, obviously, I've got the kitchen half open. Guess what part of the video comes next? We're going to start looking at the storage. But the entertainment on this, that is a 12-volt smart TV, by the way. Entertainment setup in this is not terribly terrible, all things considered. This has just a huge pantry with, there it is, a little bit of a motion light up top. I don't know how well you saw that. Probably not very. That's your griddle and griddle top and everything there. But if they would have just put the pantry in here, I'd have been happy with it. The extra just netting, it costs pennies. And it just keeping your stuff from just rattle slamming all over the place. It's just a very nice touch, thoughtful detail that they put into this. This being one of the RPods that can fit it. It has one of the larger 10 cubic foot 12-volt fridges. They have a couple different size fridges. They just basically they put the biggest fridge in they usually can. Your central vacuum unit is down there next to your converter fuse box and with no slides. This thing doesn't have a any sort of blockage preventing you from getting to the converter box in road mode. I would have liked a little bit of a wastebasket space right there. However, hang on to that note. As we get past these drawers with the power outlets, we get past the air fryer convection combo microwave oven. Assuming you didn't shove the stool over here in the corner like I did, that area right there, that would make a perfect kind of wastebasket spot. And because they went, instead of going with the 3-burner stovetop, which eats up a lot of counter space and gives you one high output hard burning burner and then 2 low output burners, they gave you the two spot. But the thing is, that's dual high outputs. The difference there is both of those burners can actually cook and like boil water. Whereas your 3-burner stovetops, your rear burners don't really put out enough heat to do a lot of that kind of stuff. So it also maximizes the countertop space here. Watch the side of the refrigerator next to the sink, right about meow. It's so simple and it's so smart, but that is also basically that's where your sink cover holds, hides, rides down the road. The thing is, this is something you got to kind of see in person. This is an extra large circular sink. So like if you say, a lot of people don't like circular sinks because the RV industry likes to make them as small as possible. A lot of circular sinks, you set a dinner plate in it and you can't get your fingers back around it. This is big enough you can actually do that. Maybe do a little bit of that pots and pans cleaning that some of the other ones do not allow for. The bathroom back here, you do have a, well, basically you've got a staring contest champion bathroom, unless you close the bathroom door, that sliding pocket door, because otherwise you can kind of just lock eyes from the Murphy sofa with the person who's on the toilet over here. But in the meantime, taking a look at the space around the toilet, it is fairly fluffy friendly. I have noticed the RPod family, like RPod, Surveyor, etc. Sometimes they make the big storage cabinet next to the toilet too big, which sounds like blasphemy, but it can be so big that you literally don't have elbow room to utilize the butt napkins, as it were. I didn't find that problem here. I also didn't find a problem with airflow in here because we have that big XL vent fan up top. That was one of those people spoke and they listened and they made it happen kind of things. Now, we have 6.5 foot ceilings, which is industry standard. So if you're 6 foot plus like me, stand in the shower because it has a step up, your head's in the skylight all day, every day, no question. It just is. And in terms of counter space, this reminds me of like that movie Despicable Me when Gru's like, in terms of money, we have no money. There's not a lot of counter room going on in here, but I don't know, it is what it is. What you gonna do about it, man? I do like that little motion light down there next to the toilet. It's a small little detail, but if you're trying to navigate the RV at night, those little motion lights are so inexpensive and so handy. And if you don't like it, grab a piece of like black tape or something that would block light and just literally slap it over the sensor and then it's disabled. There you go. Taking a peek inside the storage here. This is so big and deep and dark and vast. I put my phone in there with the flashlight on so that you could see what was going on inside of it and just how big and deep that is. That is a huge chunk of storage. Plus, you have the big pantry. And that's why I get so jazzed up about this floor plan. This is small. It is light, but it is so big and open and airy, and you can pack a ton of crap inside this thing, man. And just because sometimes the specs on the website don't quite line up with the real world, I always like to double check that tag over there. 4,071 pounds empty dry weight as we're looking at it here today. But again, you look at that, you forget with the space inside, at least I do, that this is a no slide camper. It is the biggest little thing I've been in for a long time, but it's short. It's not heavy, it's easy towing, it's tandem axles, but then you get to do this kind of fun, crazy stuff. You get to pop it open like a, I don't know, can of Pringles? I don't know. I'll work on that analogy later on. I'll work that out of my own time. But in the meantime, just to kind of see it, you know, from inside outside, it's easier to, I think, discern this in person. I don't know how well this will translate to camera, but this actually is a dual pane Euro style window, but you see the thickness of it. This is what I call down with the thickness right here. It actually does have a hollow air charge in the middle, which most RV dual panes don't. And that's one of the major reasons this has a significantly higher R value as compared even to RV dual pane windows. And again, you can pull out that blackout shade, which has the radiant barrier backer on it to block out the sun, make sure the nosy neighbors aren't watching you sleep and breathe or whatever. And, you know, not bake your head like a baked potato, because that's how I lost most of my hair, as far as you know. Working our way around up here, we do have a full front pass-through storage compartment, which the bendy bed, Murphy bed style of system does allow for. If it was a one-piece Murphy bed, there'd be some advantages to that too, certainly. But you'd lose that front pass-through compartment. And I'm in a big empty building, and when I said "but" just now, I heard my voice echo in the distance and literally scared the crap out of myself. I thought Bigfoot was coming to get me and like echoing my voice like predators, you know. Anyway, anybody remember the Arnold Schwarzenegger Predator reference? I'm getting a little off topic here. Back to the RPod, which is certified predator proof, as far as you know. This big window. This is really the signature calling card of this floor plan. Now, I've kind of left the TV pivoted on an angle in the way, but even so, if you're sitting here, it's still just like an excellent view. So like if you're sitting at that dining bar, you're not really blocking anybody who might be, you know, watching TV from the sofa or something like that. The double gas struts are up here, and oh man, I just got an idea. What if, are there like little clip-on projectors that could, okay. Have to think about that one. I might be stupid, but I might be smart. I'm not sure. I'll have to work that out again. But down here, Goodyear Endurance radials are what most folks are probably going to spot on this. Entire pressure monitoring is standard, but the reason I said most is if you are out west, you might bump into an RPod at a dealership that actually comes out of their West Coast production facility, and those have a Westlake Mud Legend off-road style tire, which is the idea behind that is not because you're going to take this thing Baja and rock crawling. It is not. That's not what this is. It is so that like if you get off the paved roads, you can have something with a little higher sidewall integrity. Underbelly is enclosed and forced air heated. The Western Hood River editions will also pick up tank heaters, as well as a Max Air vent cover over the bathroom vent. Now, if you're like, yeah, but I want a Max Air vent cover, we can toss those on at the stores pretty quick and easy. Take a look just below the spare tire there. You can see that receiver hitch kind of sticking out. Got a nice silhouette of it right now to keep an eyeball on that. You want to add a bike rack or something to the back here, maybe a little generator tray to get you off the grid a little bit. While, you know, it's got a 200-watt standard solar package on the roof. But if you're going to do some extended off-grid camping, if you're going to be out in the woods, you're going to the refrigerator will very likely overpower that solar panel there. Now, you could probably slap a second one of those 200-watt panels up top. And if you are going to go off-grid, it's worthless talking about solar unless you also talk about batteries. So that's one of those things. Contact our store. Let us know how you want to camp so that we can get you equipped in an intelligent way to help you camp successfully for that, you know, because if you're a park pavement camping princess like me, you don't need fancy pants batteries and a bunch of solar and stuff like that. You want to get off the grid though, that requires different hardware, and we have people who can hook you up either way. Now, it is kind of nice that it is a single sewer outlet kind of floor plan. This one's big enough, tall enough that it has a large enough chassis to sort of make all that happen right here. And I do want to back up, look between the windows. You see there's a bit of a small black rectangle right there. If you're not aware, that is a stovetop vent hood. So if you are cooking in the camper, you're not cooking yourself out of the camper. Another little thing, if you look down at the very front tongue area of the RV, you see your battery disconnect switch, but you also see this orange thing with the sort of red light on it. That is your relay right there for your tire pressure monitoring system, so that when you're going down the road, if you do experience, you know, even in real time, you can keep an eye on how much in the way of PSI, which I can't even spell, is left in your tires, so that you don't have yourself a scary roadside event, because that sounds like a good idea of not fun. What do you think, guys? Not a whole lot else exactly like this out there. And I'm wondering why, because I think that this is a brilliant kind of layout. The ease, simplicity, the lower maintenance of no slides, but that big open feel. This is a smart wombo combo in my book. I'm going to drop you a link in the video description where you can always double check pricing and availability. Anywhere that we have one of these on hand, it'll have a real price available for you. If you only see MSRP, it means we're restocking. We just happen to be sold out right now. So keep that in mind. My throat's giving out of me because I was off camera yelling and making stupid voices over here. So I'm going to wrap this up because it's only going to get worse from here. Take care, stay safe, have fun, and happy camping, everyone.